Most people assume that lacking discipline is a personal weakness, something shameful that some people are born with and others are not. But this belief is fundamentally wrong. Discipline, as we usually imagine it, actually contradicts how the human brain is built. This isn't a metaphor. It's neuroscience. The brain did not evolve to care about long-term goals or heroic self-control. It evolved for immediate survival. For millions of years, humans adapted to conserve energy, seek quick rewards, and avoid unnecessary effort. That's why your brain prefers the couch over the gym and TikTok over studying. It isn't a flaw. It's biology. However, modern life demands the opposite: consistency, productivity, and discipline. This creates a constant internal struggle. On one side is an ancient brain optimized for comfort. On the other is a world that expects the focus of a machine. When we try to rely only on willpower, we attempt to defeat millions of years of evolution with a few motivational quotes. Unsurprisingly, it never lasts. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, highlights a crucial insight. True discipline doesn't come from forcing yourself. It comes from designing systems and environments that make good behavior the default. People who seem disciplined aren't stronger. They simply build structures that guide their actions automatically. They don't fight their brain. They work with it. To understand discipline, we must first understand the brain's priority: survival, comfort, and conserving energy. Throughout evolution, immediate rewards were safer than long-term planning, so the brain became programmed to choose the easiest, most pleasurable option. And this ancient programming is still active today. When you try to read, work, or exercise, your brain pushes you towards something effortless and rewarding: checking your phone, relaxing, distracting yourself. The brain is not designed for rational long-term thinking. It is designed for efficiency. Neuroscience calls this cognitive ease, the impulse to always choose the path of least resistance. The real issue, then, is not weak willpower, but a misalignment between your goals and your brain's instincts. You want long-term growth. Your brain wants immediate relief. Without reconciling this conflict, you will always feel like you're failing. As James Clear says, motivation is overrated. Environment matters far more. If you constantly depend on willpower, you are fighting the architecture of your own mind, and fatigue will always win. When you're tired, your brain reverts to autopilot. An autopilot always chooses the easiest option. If you truly want to change, the first step is not to push harder. The first step is understanding how your brain works. Your brain is wired to resist forced discipline, which raises an important question. What if the real problem isn't you, but the environment around you? The environment is the hidden architect of your behaviors, and once you learn to shape it, it can work in your favor. The brain naturally seeks the easiest path. Most people think self-control is an inner strength, a muscle to be trained. But James Clear reveals the truth. Self-control is fragile and collapses in poorly designed environments. Imagine trying to work out. Your clothes are in the drawer, shoes in the car, it's cold, and your phone is already in hand. The choice is no longer about right or wrong, but easy versus hard. And the brain always picks easy. This is where choice architecture comes in. Clear explains that behavior is shaped by what's closest, visible, and accessible. It's not about willpower. It's behavioral engineering. For instance, simply moving water bottles to the front of a cafeteria increased water consumption without any motivation campaign. The environment made the decision easy, and the brain followed. You can apply this to your life. Leave your book on the bed, turn off phone notifications, or set your workout clothes out the night before. Discipline isn't about effort, it's about preparation. People who seem disciplined aren't stronger. They design their environment so that good behavior is almost automatic. And it doesn't stop there. You can leverage habits your brain already performs. Habit stacking, another idea from Clear, links a new habit to an existing one. Brush your teeth, then meditate. Make breakfast, then write in your journal. By anchoring new behaviors to automatic routines, you reduce resistance and make discipline inevitable. After locking the front door, you repeat a short focus affirmation. This simple action creates a neural connection between your old routine and the new behavior. Essentially, you are hijacking your automatic habits to build discipline. Why does this work? Because it removes the hardest part, starting. Beginning an action requires more energy than continuing it. Once you're in motion, inertia takes over. Habit stacking builds momentum, and momentum, not willpower, keeps behaviors consistent over time. But this requires strategy. You cannot stack habits randomly. The new habit should be small, under 2 minutes, clear, specific, and immediate, triggered directly after an existing habit. Following this approach creates mental tracks that make discipline automatic. Your body simply acts before doubt, laziness, or rationalization can interfere. Small stacks may seem insignificant at first, but they compound over time into strong routines. Over months, these micro-habits can transform your entire lifestyle. So why do people still procrastinate? Procrastination is not laziness, it's poor design. According to James Clear, procrastination signals that your environment, habits, and systems are not set up for action. Tasks that require effort without immediate reward, like studying or writing, are naturally resisted, while easy, pleasurable activities, like scrolling social media, win. This is neuroscience, not morality. Clear's 4 laws of behavior change help make habits stick. 1. Make it obvious. Keep the habit visible. 2. Make it attractive. Associate it with pleasure or enjoyment. 3. Make it easy. Reduce friction to make the habit simple. 4. Make it satisfying. Provide immediate reward to reinforce it. For example, a student struggling to study might have cluttered materials and distractions. Applying the 4 laws, the book is left open, obvious, a favorite drink accompanies study time, attractive, start with just 5 minutes, easy, and progress is tracked with a small reward, satisfying. Suddenly, the habit becomes doable, enjoyable, and sustainable. The difference is not that the person became stronger, they learned to design the right behavior. Discipline is not a matter of willpower, it is a natural result of a well-structured system. Procrastination is not laziness, it is a warning. Ask yourself, is this action obvious, attractive, easy, and rewarding? If not, the problem lies in the design, not your character. When these principles are applied consistently, procrastination fades naturally. You don't force yourself to act, the behavior flows automatically. You may still dislike tasks like waking up early, studying, or training. But here's the key. You don't need to like discipline to be disciplined. Many productivity myths claim you must enjoy the process to succeed, fall in love with the routine, or do what you love. Inspiring, yes, but false and demotivating. Highly productive people don't wake up excited every day. They don't rely on passion or infinite energy. They rely on systems that make the right action inevitable, even on bad days. Imagine running in the morning. Motivation alone fails. You'll make excuses, hit snooze, and skip it. Now imagine you prepare, shoes and clothes by the bed, alarm across the room, a ready playlist, a workout partner, and a clear route. The act is still hard, but the path of least resistance is set. Action happens automatically, before desire even appears. This is what disciplined people do. They build systems, not rely on motivation. Your goal is not to love discipline, it's to make essential behaviors so automatic that doing them requires less effort than avoiding them. Systems replace fleeting motivation with consistent action. James Clear sums it up. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Success is shaped by daily habits, not intentions. Dislike for routine or waking up early is irrelevant. Structure makes the behavior part of your identity. Ultimately, discipline is not a rare talent. It is a reflection of who you see yourself as. True transformation happens when you become someone new, not by forcing actions, but by designing your habits, environment, and identity to align naturally with your goals. Discipline is not a trait you force. It is a natural outcome of a well-designed system, an intentional environment, and a strong identity. When these align, disciplined action stops feeling like effort and becomes your default. But here's the deeper truth. Lasting change doesn't happen without a shift in how you see yourself. Identity is the foundation of transformation. James Clear explains that real behavior change isn't about what you want to achieve, it's about who you choose to become. Identity shapes habits, and habits reinforce identity. If you want to be disciplined, start acting like someone who already is. Small, consistent actions, exercising, reading, or working even for a few minutes, are votes toward this new identity. Each choice signals, I am the kind of person who follows through. This approach is more effective than motivation or elaborate plans because it changes who you are, not just what you do. True discipline is the byproduct of smart design, not force. It comes from creating systems that make correct behavior easy, a path of least resistance, rather than relying on brute willpower. You now face a choice: continue blaming yourself for lack of strength, or start building the environment, habits, and identity that make discipline automatic. Stop waiting for motivation or perfection. Consistency and structure will do the work for you. Ask yourself, what is the first habit you will redesign today? Even the act of committing to change is a step toward your new identity. If you find this video helpful and want to learn more knowledge that helps you develop yourself and move toward a better future, please support me with a like and check out my other videos. Soft Steps Forward.